Thank you, sir. How you doing, Fred? Not bad. Not bad? Not bad. How are you, man? Long time no see. I'm getting ready to. We got to get him off the phone.
Hey, Rick, you want me to hang up?
I'm gonna flip it so you can see the room here in a minute.
You want me to turn this off? Hello?
Rick, we can hear you all right.
It's the Zoom thing. Let me just hang up from the Zoom and I can hear you. That's the only way I can hear you.
Why did he hang up?
Too much background noise.
Well, I could have predicted that for you, but yeah.
Okay, you are recording. You are recording. Okay. If you don't need his video, then fine. Board meeting. Board meeting.
We have one of our officers is on the phone. You know, it's echoing here. It's like everything else in 2020, we're just gonna have to put up with a few things. And, even in 2021. So if you speak, you don't have to, obviously, you don't have to speak very loud. For us to hear you in this room. We do have one of our members on the phone. He is muted, but if you have something to say, he will unmute. AJ is not here tonight. Let's move along. All right.
Is he?
All right. We have a guest with us. He is the president of the commissioners, Rick Whitall. He is here to give us a small presentation. He's a very busy man, so we thought we'd let him go ahead and speak. So he can get back to his business.
Yeah. Hi everyone, for those who don't know me, my name is Rick Whitall. Been here kind of not your northern people, southern people. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is everything on the news that you hear is all about the COVID and all the money that the government has thrown out and they're dispersing to all counties and states, local municipalities and everything else. So our county, Putnam, is going to get about a little, I don't know the exact number, somewhere in the $7.3 million. Okay, that's what we're going to receive. There is a list of things that we can spend it on. Now, they have not yet told us all the list of things we can spend it on because we're dealing with the federal government. But I did get some more info today. I've been on webinars each week. Unfortunately, I was the one that drew the short straw to pay attention to this. So, but I do know the way it's going to be dispersed, and this is to everybody, and the city of Grand Council's get $2 million. I can't remember what Bainbridge and Cloverdale and Rochdale are getting. I don't remember those numbers, but it's going to be divided in half. So in the next 10 days, we're going to get the first half and roll over $3 million put in our bank account. And then 12 months from there, we're going to get the other half. So somewhere around this time next year. We have until December of 2024 to spend this money. All right. The big thing that they're talking about, first thing we got to do with that money is we have to figure out. So the way tax revenue works, of course, is you have your property taxes, which pays for what's listed. We also have income tax. Everybody that works pays an income tax that pays a lot of salaries for sheriff's departments, EMS. It takes care of edit funds, helps with some roads. And things like that. That's what the income tax is for. As we know, roads in general are all supplied by fuel tax, excise tax, and registration. So last year, we went down almost 20% on road funding, which is why we canceled our 64 miles last year is what we had. So by the end of the year, we were back up to 4%. Loss is what we ended up with. So what we did with all that money is we took it and we bought materials. The state of Indiana has been doing a lot of grinding of state roads. And so what we did is we bought those, what they call millings, and we're storing them in Russellville a lot. And we're going to, for lack of a better term, regurgitate them and start using them for roads. We're going to try to do 71 miles of roads this year. I was hoping that I would have that with me so you could see what roads, but I drove a different truck. So it's in one of the other trucks. But I will get that info to these folks so you know what roads around here are going to be redone. 71 miles is a stretch for us to do. 11 miles of that is from the community crossings, which we just got. That's $1 million. Our hot asphalt paving is about $110,000 a mile. All right. Chip and seal is right around 28 to 32,000. Double chip and seal is around 42,000. All right, the double chip and seal is what we're going to use those millings we bought to help rebuild roads. Because as we know, the biggest, as somebody told me when I first started becoming commissioner, that 30% of your job is actually taking care of the roads. The other 60% is running the county. But 99.972% of the phone calls you're going to get is my road sucks. And that's exactly true. And that's fine. That's part of it. But so that's kind of the agenda of what we're going to try to do. We are currently 7 people down in our highway department. We're like everybody else in the United States. We're short employees. We're trying to fix that, of course, by hiring. As a matter of fact, I think we just hired two of the state highways. The state highways top 2 guys out of Bainbridge away from there. So we're actually paying more money than the state highway is right now for employees. So, so we're working on that. The main reason I wanted to come here tonight is we, as a county, 37,000, some people have $7 million bucks, but we have to figure out how to spend it and how to spend it wisely. Okay? So the first thing we have to do is figure out back to that income tax. Last year, a lot of people got laid off, a lot of people didn't work. So our income tax, it all runs 2 years behind. The state likes to keep it, collect interest off of it. So whatever you earn today or whatever you pay into the state in income tax, the entity that receives it doesn't get it for 2 years. Okay? So this year we were fine on income cuts. But next year is where we're going to be short. So first thing we have to do is figure out how short we're going to be. And that's the money we got to set back. I'm just figuring $2 million bucks. It is kind of what I've got in my head that we're going to keep back. So to start out with, we're going to have about 1.7 to go forward, and then the other 3.5. But there is a small list of items that this can be used for. Roads is not one of them. Roads and bridges, because my biggest thing is with the agriculture community that we have, everybody knows the size of the tractor and the combine and an 80,000-pound grain truck going down the road these days and what they do. Along with how many bridges do we have that are only 3-ton, 4-ton, 6-ton limits. And that's where I was hoping we could spend a lot of money on, is trying to fix bridges and up our ante on roads, but that's not going to happen. So we punt. We go back to the second thing. One of the ideas that comes through my head as I'm driving down the road is Heritage Lake is a large community, all on its own up here. All right. What I need help with is, and these are just ideas, okay? That's why I wanted to come in and throw these ideas out. Have you folks talked about water and a water supply? Okay? Because talking with the city of Greencastle, they have a 12-inch main that is just north of the railroad tracks at Fillmore that is sitting blocked off, ready to be used. They have more than enough capacity to take on double the residents that live in Heritage Lake. Okay? So get your heads thinking about, do we have a water issue? Everybody here has a well. I'm hearing rumblings that maybe we're building more houses than what we have water supply. So it's a very complex issue to do, but the county, as the county representative, we're willing to help with that and go forward, if that's something that you folks want to do. Okay? So the other part of that is, do you have sewer? Or just part of it? But is it every house? Okay, so if every house has a sewer, to me the water thing just kind of goes together with it. Now everybody knows about the debacle at Fillmore when they put in waters and sewers. Okay? And I don't know if you don't know about it, their water and sewer bills are extremely high. All right? And back when all that was done, it was the way it was done. So we have learned from that. And so we know what to do going forward, not to make that same mistake. So that, yeah, I brought water to my house, but it cost me $180 a month for water and sewer. And that's them, I mean, I know the show's different, but, and that's just outrageous, there's no way you can sustain that. So, so it's the two-step process of bringing the water to you and making sure that it's a reasonable cost. Okay? So the last thing I wanted to talk about is if we bring the water in, that's kind of the last piece of the puzzle to incorporate. So that's the next step to think about, is incorporating this, making it into a, I don't know the proper term, but a city with its own tax base. Work with the county to figure out the roads. County maintain maybe the main roads, and then all the others, the little cul-de-sacs that are total crap and falling apart, would be something that, you know, as a heritage community, you could work on to fix. Okay? So I'm merely the idea guy. So I'm not that smart, but I have plenty of ideas. And so if I surround myself with smart people, we can usually get something done. So that's why I'm here. That's the reasons. Yeah. So do I have questions? Yes, sir. Okay, so grant monies to unincorporated areas, there are. It's through Okra. It goes through very tedious projects. We're in the middle of that right now at Van River Lake. Everybody knows about Van River Lake over there. Their water system is an absolute fiasco. They have lines running. They have people there that if the neighbor 2 houses down takes a shower, I can't wash dishes. I can't flush the toilet. I mean, it is an absolute debacle. And we are in with Okra is through the Lieutenant Governor's office. It's called Okra, OCRA, Office of Community Rural Affairs. Yeah. So they have plenty of grants. We just got $700,000 from it for Van River Lake. We're going to need about $3 million more to make this project complete, because Van River Lake is the lowest income community in our county. So they need a lot of help. So that's what we're trying to work through now. We've got the first round. We're going to the feds now to find more, to try to get more grants for them. So Okra is one. We've also got the American Rescue Plan, back to that $7 million. All right. So we can help with part of that. There's a couple other sewer projects that as the county we want to work on with other communities and go through. There's also what they call the state revolving fund. That's actually a fund that you go to borrow money, but you have to pay that back. So that's also an avenue that can go through this. We're also looking at that for those other sewer projects. So there's several different avenues. We'll have to go through, in order to do the grants, we'll have to go through income surveys. We'll have to get details on numbers and do a couple of engineering studies that, for whatever reason, because that's the rules. But so, yes, sir.
A few years ago, we did a long-term planning study, and the idea of possibly incorporating was one of the things that came up. I think we're the second largest population center in the county. But at that time, the person who was kind of facilitating this was connected, I think, with the university, said that to incorporate, there needed to be a number of zones in terms of commercial zones, various kinds of enterprise zones, manufacturing, and whatever, that really are appropriate to the kind of community that we are. So his comment was that although incorporation might be a reasonable thing to think about, it probably isn't appropriate for this community. Do you have any thoughts on that, or anything?
I know absolutely nothing about what you just said, but I'm willing to learn, and that's why I'm coming here. Right? Because this is what I know about incorporated in cities. But I'm willing to learn and try to figure it out. I'm here to learn, is what I'm trying to say.
For those of you who were around during that long range plan, that was a very substantial thing in the community. There's a lot there. There's a lot of information. To incorporate it is a process, very complicated process. And it's a process that everybody has to know what the ups and downs are. What the ins and outs are, what the positives are, what the negatives are. So I think we're getting enough information tonight so that we can possibly figure out how we move forward to answer.
And I look at them out as a two-stepper. We have one is water, and the other is, okay? Two-step, two different things, but same. Yes.
Organization that handles our sewer, and they are charged, under their charge for water. I think you need to visit them and get your fish.
Okay. And that's why I wanted to start here, so I can figure out this path.
Basically.
So they're not, you guys are completely separate?
No, it's, what's called, it's,
Conservancy.
there's a name for it. But we, all homeowners of Heritage Lake, they are the Conservancy. But the Conservancy has their own board of 3 individuals, we have one right here. And the Conservancy will be a group also that we have to do a evaluation for water.
Okay.
I'm gonna say what the name is.
Simply put, Conservancy owns the lake, we run.
Understood. But this water would come from the lake.
No.
But they can be a distribution.
Yes, sir.
The long-term planning committee just started meeting again this year and met last month. And the subject of the aquifer and the water here at the lake came up. And basically, we don't know yet today if there is a short or long-term water table problem. So I did this much research and found that DNR has a wealth of information, much more technical than I'm capable of absorbing. I think we need someone to study what the DNR knows about our aquifer and decide, do we have a water issue? Okay. But that does make me.
Technically, you don't even have to have a water issue to go forward with the project.
Well, I am curious about that because I wonder if Greencastle is pumping water out here or even to Fillmore, what is their water source? Is that coming from an aquifer someplace?
It's coming from down the west side of town.
Okay, so it's going to come out of somebody's aquifer, and I know ours is different. So the question is, where do you want to draw your water? Okay.
And the first that every resident is required to hook up to it, or could we stay on our?
That is a further down the road question. The first question is it feasible? Dollar wise, is it wanted? Okay, that's the two questions that starts out. And that's for all you to figure out. So, I mean, and I understand what you're saying. Right. Yeah, 26% of the people here actually want to hook on the city water, and then they ain't gonna fly very well. So, but yes, sir.
President of the board of Prairie Conservancy.
Yes, sir.
We meet Thursday, November 10 o'clock. At the building at the east end of the town.
Third Thursday. 10 in the morning,
10 o'clock in the morning.
not night out. Okay, third Thursday, 10 a.m. So, do I need to get on the agenda? Are you the agenda? Dwayne Keller? Okay. And like I said, and the reason that the main reason I'm here is I feel like this is a once in a lifetime shot for all, and not just this project, but other projects that we have going. Okay, I feel like this is going to be a one-time deal. And if it doesn't fly, it doesn't fly. I'm personally good with it. I'm just trying to part of this money is to make our county as friendly and viable for the future as we can. All right, to attract, as much as I don't want this county to grow, because I like the way it is, it's going to grow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're a donut county, or whatever they call it, donut feeder or something like that. But they got some term for it, but we're going to grow no matter what. And your Heritage Lake is going to be the first to grow. Okay? So I have no idea where you're at on percentages of lots that are built on, but it's climbing every day. We did last year we did 127 new homes in Putnam County, and I'm pretty sure 70% of them were here. And we've already issued like 47 new home permits for this year for the county. So
I think 37 more.
probably, you know, so yes, sir. There is other alternatives, absolutely. I haven't got that far yet. I've got till December of 2024 to figure that out. So it all has to be spent by December of 2024. Like I said, there's other communities that need infrastructure. I mean, if we want to spend the money quickly, one of the main uses they want to use for is broadband, all right? To bring broadband internet. Broadband internet runs $250,000 to $1 million a mile. Okay, so we're not going to get very many miles. We have 714 miles of roads in our county total between gravel and paved. So it's not going to go very far. As far as I'm concerned, and all the other, a lot of other commissioners I've talked to, broadband needs to be left up to the state. So, and they're actually, they've got, I don't know when the new budget come out. It only come out with like 150 or 300 million for broadband for the next year. Or we're going to get 300 miles out of the state broadband. You know, it's going to take a long time. Are we going to get there? Yeah. Are we going to be alive? Who knows? See it. But, you know, with technology, I don't know. But to answer your question, absolutely, there's several other projects that we need to spend this money on. So I am spending the next week or two going around to the different communities, throwing this out there with the blessing of the other two commissioners. So that's why I'm here tonight. Okay.
Thank you, Rick.
Any others?
You began started talking about funding that the government's given us. How much of that fund the water project?
Well, first we have to go with, they've already got one sewer project going that I think going to run about $4 million. All right, now granted, we're in the county pay for that. It's going to be a collaboration between several. But we have to do some type of study. What I'm trying to research now, and the mayor, Bill Gorey, the mayor, and Kristen Clare, the economic development, is we're working on finding what's the average cost per mile installing one. So once we get that number, whether it's 10,000 or 30,000 or whatever that number is, then we can figure out how many miles it is. And we can, you know, then we can get an estimate of what it's going to cost. Okay. So, but I just wanted to start with, is this something you're favorable or not? And you guys have my number. If you need any questions, call me, anything like that, all right? I appreciate you letting me take your time about it.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah. What? We're waiting to see, we don't know yet, it hasn't passed. And just like the American Rescue Plan, it was passed 2 months ago, but we still don't know how we can use it.
Yeah.
So,
So I think you guys are for
but I feel like the next year or two is going to be the best opportunity we're going to have in a long time to do projects. But what? That Mr. Biden's, President Biden's infrastructure plan has nothing to do with roads. Nope, it's all about quality of life. It's all about broadband. It's all about infrastructure, and that's sewers and water lines. So, So,
Thank you, Rick.
yeah, no problem.
Okay. Let's move along here. Presentation of agenda. April 12th, board meeting. Take a motion. All in favor of approving that? Any opposed? April 28th operations meeting, I'll take a motion. All those in favor of approving? Any opposed? April 28th executive meeting, take a motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. We're not going to have a treasurer to report tonight, which is in the office. AJ's not here, but we will have that for next month's meeting. Committee reports. Yeah,
Number April, we're at 5 houses, 3 dishes, 4 detached garages, 5 docks, 2 permanent covered boatlets, 3 decks, 3 non-waterfront fences, and a gazebo. And the only one add to that is the first May meeting last week. We had 26 little games. So it's getting very busy.
I would ask the community, since we have so much construction going on, if you don't know the rules or the A&E committee about construction, I would maybe emphasize that you read those rules. As you're our eyes and ears when you travel through the community. These lots should be clean. They should be presentable every day. They're building a house or they're remodeling. They need to have a dumpster and a outhouse immediately once they start putting block in the ground. So if you see it, make a nice friendly call to the office and block the street. But we're trying to keep the construction clean. Next on the agenda, campground.
Next meeting is May 15th, 10 a.m. in the campground. We are full capacity.
Sarah Lecker. Anybody have anything to clean up today?
The April cleanup committee met for a trash pickup day. We collected a total of 80 bags from the 8.1 miles we walked around Heritage Lake Drive. In the area around the S curve, that's the area if you exit Heritage Lake going to US 36. We also covered that area. On Saturday, May 8th, the cleanup committee held the Tops Away and Clean Street Day. We had a total of 87 residents who donated their unwanted materials, televisions, computers, etc., and their toxic materials, oil-based paint, pesticides, etc. It was a successful day. We filled 2 dumpsters of unwanted material, such as pressure-treated lumber, mattresses, furniture, carpet, and 1 dumpster of metal, such as barbecue grills, lawnmowers, car parts, and a safe. We're always looking for volunteers. We can't make this community work without the residents of Heritage Lake. Our next meeting is this Wednesday, May 12th, 7 p.m. in the large conference room. And lastly, the cleanup committee's next upcoming event is our paper shred event. This is a good opportunity to bring your old IRS tax form. That'll be August 7th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the clubhouse parking lot.
And may I point out that the original date for that was distributed at the beginning of 2021 was August 14th. So there has been a correction made, it is August 7th is the first shred day.
Okay, we're, so can we get that? Thank you.
I think because of the conflicts with people around. That's the conflicts.
Okay, government committee, Dick Warner.
Okay, the resolution meeting from April 19th, Commissioners voted to approve revenue from last year for county buildings. But all the grants are still. They also talked about as Commissioner Woodall just mentioned was the Oprah grants were awarded to the Putnam County Schools. We're in the county council meeting on the 20th. There was a lot of discussion about sheriff department employee merit pay and pay period. They confirmed the new position for the health department was filled. That person started on May 2nd, so we have 2 full-time members. Next council meeting scheduled is 2 hours earlier than usual on the 3rd Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. And then this last week, the county commissioners meeting, a lot of this, Mr. Woodall is covered, so I can speak over that. I put a note in here that we as the city representatives are here to appeal to the commissioners for, the very much plan funding for new wells and water filtration. And I mentioned this, is there has been some discussion around here about going for some water, funding for water, so real bills with it, and we're getting some money, so if we want to move on that. Should I probably person? The next government committee meeting will be held on Wednesday, June 19th at 6:30 p.m. in the front house. And then there is a health department health board meeting this week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at the emergency operations center. That's it.
Thank you, Dick. Okay, then committee. Jimmy, you'll.
Well, my committee's been busy this month. We had a meeting recently, and basically, we have put all new materials in the marine. Allow us to move it. New logos and stuff, so everybody will take a look. We talked about PCC, which is scheduled down on July 17th on Saturday. We're trying to change some things up and make it bigger again, and we'll see how it goes. We also voted to make an additional contribution to the marina of $2,500. So that check should be in the mail. And we're working on sponsors for not only things for the PCC, but also for the opportunities we're working on for the celebration of the 50th anniversary. So we've kind of been charged with being involved in that. So basically, there's a celebration committee which is made up of Mary Patrizi, Rick Miller, me, Stebbins, my wife and I, and with some input from Paul. We're basically working on 2 major events. One of them is the Marina Restaurant opening, which is going to be June 30th or June 3rd from 3 to 5. We've got some signs and events and stuff around the market to make everybody aware of it. We're also working on a legacy sign put out for our 50th anniversary, and that's going to be where we're going to be raising money. Recently, I've been working with trying to find a flag manufacturer. It hasn't been easy. I finally found a guy over here in Coatesville, a local guy, a graphic designer, who's working with me on it. He's doing a couple of things for me right now. He has taken our logo, which we've never had decorized. Decorization means basically that you can take a logo and blow it up as big as you want. It's going to work good. we've never done that. We've also had about a dozen different colors now. So we went back through some research, numerous of us got together, decided on the correct Pantone colors for it. He has now done all this work for me. So now we have about 5 different files on the logo, which we'll be able to use on shirts, signs, anything we go through, we'll be able to standardize program. The other, that is also part of the celebration we're going to do at the grand opening. We'll have a ribbon cutting on June 3rd. I've already ordered the stuff, the supplies for that. Tim's going to work with the PA system again. So that's kind of all going in good order. And then finally, we have been working on a project. We contracted with a steel metal contractor in Greencastle to build us a legacy logo sign for the point. This is going to basically be a 4-foot by 4-foot steel logo sign. Will be a big square. Our logo will be cut out in the middle and brought out in the front to give a 3D effect. It will be in color. The back will be white. And then underneath it, it'll say HLPOA established 1971. This is something around the walls. We're going to put 6x6 timbers on the sides that finish it off the lines. We'll be on the pillars. They're going to be lit at night. We've kind of been going back and forth where we want to put this, but I think the bottom line is most of us agree that we right across from the marina where we have the shelter house, the parking is. Probably will go there, thinking that you can see it as you come into the marina, you can see it in the restaurant. Part of my process on it is, if it's out someplace way around the way, we look at about 4 months out of the year, because that's how many months people are on the lake. If it's over by the marina and the restaurant, it'll probably be all over. So we're still kind of works of where we're going to put this. We're going to do our today. Look at the situation over there. We think we could easily run power from the shelter house out to it, so we can use electric lights on it instead of solar. He's willing to do the work. You know, with obviously paying your permission to do this, we have to set it all. He's been an electrician his whole life, knows what he's doing. So that's kind of where we are on that. The final part of all this is raising the money to pay for this. I think I gave you all the notes, so you can just for your record. Right now, we set a goal of $6,000 to raise for this program. We had a very generous $2,000 donation from the lake committee member a couple weeks ago to get us started on the sign. And I'm not telling anybody who this person was until this person tells me I can. I would like to recognize this person, but at this point, I'm not going to do it. So basically, the 6,000 we have ordered up. And if you look at your notes there, if we're going to put out about 400 to the marina and the restaurant during COVID, about 125 of all those logo updates that I'm doing with the logos and the color stuff. And we would like to buy one flag, at least one flag, that would be our logo. We would have 350 on it, and it would fly probably from the clubhouse point where we have that pole there. It's not being used except during high water. It'd be a nice big flag that would kind of say, hey, Heritage Lake 50 years. We know it'll only be a 1-year deal, but it's kind of what we like to do. So bottom line is, if you take all those costs, we're looking at about $5,500. If we can raise this, great. If we can't, or if we go more over that, then we're hoping that the rest of that money can go into our speech and speed fund to help get that ready. So what we're doing is we've got boxes over here like this. There's one marina. There's going to be one here in the clubhouse. If we're having a real busy weekend out in the marina, like Memorial Day weekend, I'm trying to set a table up with signs. I'm going to push this stuff kind of like we did for the boat we had a while back. And see if we can raise it. So if you know anybody You know, if you throw in $50, that'll go real quick to get this thing filled up. Any questions?
Thank you, Jim, and can't thank you enough for all the work that everybody's put into this up to this point. And obviously, there's more work that's to be done, and you guys seem to be enjoying doing it. I know how hard it is. Really, I can't thank you enough, but I think this is a great cause. You know, people that care about the lake are looking forward to celebrating all year. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, Rick?
Just to dovetail on to what Jim has said, we also have on the HLCS website, which is very simply hlcs.online. You can go there. There is a menu selection for 50th anniversary, and you'll see very quick and easy. You can make donations there. You can pay by debit or credit card, and you can donate between $10 and $2,500, and all of that proceeds goes directly to this fund. We're not making any money. We don't intend to make any money on it. It's just a convenience for them. So I know Jim will take cash or a check, but you have another way. Okay?
Thank you very much, Rick. Okay, long range planning, Deborah, we have anything on that? Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Look at that. Phil McKinley back there going, you missed me again. Okay.
Nothing basically to report is like wow, basically already. It seems like we have an unusual amount of lead growth and amount of growth for this early in the year, the weather and water and schools they are. So I just want to be sure that you were aware of that in terms of the upcoming treatment and make sure that it's progressive enough to handle it.
Aquatic control's already been out assessing water. They were scheduled to treat the lake this time tomorrow, but they had an issue and they moved it to Friday. So the first lake will be we're going to treat it with weeds and
Thank you. Deborah, anything on long range? Okay.
So we met on April 20th for long range planning committee. And we had 6 members that came. It was fantastic. We kind of went over the long range plan that had the study that was done in the past and just kind of looked that over. Talked about things that were accomplished with that plan, things that had stopped because the committee kind of stopped meeting, and where we were at. And then we just started throwing out ideas and things that we would like to see or thought would benefit the lake. And while we were doing that, we decided it would be a good idea to start grouping these ideas into different categories. So we have aesthetics, infrastructure, safety, revenue streams, like ways to make money for the lake, administration, and amenities. And obviously, one of the big things that we talked about tonight is water. So we don't know what is needed. If we have the money, I need to know. So it's something that Dick Warner kind of brought up. Jim Johnson said that he had some contacts and that he was going to let us know. He couldn't be there that night, but he sent me email and said that. For aesthetics, we talked about the 30 acres and what we could do with that, if anything. Getting new signage, digital signage. I mean, and when I say this stuff, like, don't think that this is going to happen. This is just people throwing things out and we'll see what sticks. Infrastructure, we talked a lot about roads, a whole lot about roads. And we can't do a whole lot with the roads because it's a county issue. So we would like to talk to Big Warner, who is kind of our eyes and ears with the county. Because that's going to be our best bet into getting anything done with our roads. Sewer expansion, water lines. Somebody mentioned a tie or a water break around the conservancy point for boat tie-ups. kind of moving the congestion that's in Hardy Cove over there so that it's not interrupting residents. Getting the marina lot, parking lot resurfaced, including the gravel lot. For safety, the fire department. I've heard that they have many runs for volunteer fire department. So they had mentioned, somebody had mentioned that maybe they need to be more of a part-time fire department instead of a volunteer fire department. What can we do about pedestrians on Heritage Drive and walking around? Do we have the capacity to do walking paths? But something that was interesting that was mentioned is if we were to do water or bring water to us, there may be ways that we could tie in as they're laying those pipes for water, that we could use that to also create a place for walking paths around the lake. It's just, yeah, pretty much. So, and it can be part of the grant money or way to birds with one stone. A boardwalk at the tie-ups at Lincoln Hills, which is, I'm not reading about that today. The tie-ups at Lincoln Hills, like, are just dirt, and it erodes away, so it can be an unsafe situation when we're trying to get on the boats. Address renaming for 911 and GPS accuracy, so people figuring out how to get around the lake and where to find 276 Victory Hill. Where is that? Revenue streams, increase the number of boat slips for tie-ups seems to be a big demand. How can that happen? Lots of ideas for now. Increase the activity center utilization, impact fees for new development of lots, administration, scannable and permanent POA cards, maybe QuickBooks Online or other online payments for POA members being able to use. And then amenities, trails, walking paths, pro perch for bald eagles for the identify current critical lots and research best uses for the community. Understand the history and impact of increasing the size of body of water. And we don't have a current future date because, like I said, we wanted to talk to the coroner. He doesn't know what I was going to say this, but we wanted to talk to you and just see, we actually scheduled the meeting at the same time he had a government meeting.
That's what I was saying. I come up with that same.
Sure.
Day, there's a lot of the county council meeting, and I'm usually joking, not only the various letters, but the county pretty much.
Right.
Not a real lot of good to be, but I think it's important for us to keep. Anyway, you heard what Commissioner Woodall said about the roads.
So that's pretty much where everything left off. We wanted to meet again and just see, I met with Ken as well, just to go over some ideas.
Yeah. We look forward to the new date for the next
Scheduled for Wednesday. Is it Tuesdays, the third Tuesday in the month? Is that when
I have to look. I can't tell you without looking. Yeah.
I thought it was
Third Tuesday.
third.
It was the third Tuesday, because that was one.
It's a conflict.
Yes, that's when it's normally supposed to happen.
Oh, I have to change that. Okay. Still takes Dwayne Killer. Dwayne Killer, today, this is showing pretty short. Shannon is still working on the project that we did, early in the spring. He doesn't bill, said it didn't want to be done on the project, so I didn't have any figures at this point, but I talked to the gal that was home today, and they thought it was getting awful close to being done. Our next meeting is May the 27th, 7 o'clock. Second, conservative. We are still working with the engineering department, the engineers, to work on the expansion of the plant to take care of the building that's going on down there. I talked to Doug Clubman, our plant operator, 2 weeks ago, and he was going to make some changes in the way the plant is operating, and part of the equipment we were using part-time, and he was going to try to make some changes to where we can use that equipment more and then reduce getting close to the capacity of the plant. I haven't talked to him since. I'm sure he knows something now, especially after the rain we got over the weekend. That's what really hits us is the big rains.
Thank you, Dwayne. Yeah. Just a remark, if Woodall, should have to visit the Conservancy, maybe you could make them aware that we are looking at expanding, so possibly we might be able to get some of that money that they talked about to help us with the expansion. If you could just make them aware of that.
Well, I already had that up here. I mean, 2 weeks away and told you. I'll make it up. I'll move it. Thank you, Dwayne. HLPOA, there's nothing to report tonight. This is kind of all running into long-range planning, and I have not had a chance to sit down here with people involved previously. I apologize for that. I'm not really on vacation, it's just that I haven't had time. And so I'll make a note to get back on course with that, see if I can have something else to report next month's meeting, and probably just report on the direction that we'll take, which committee we will piggyback on. It really doesn't need to be its own. It should be integrated with other committees we have. And it sounds to me like long-range planning has got a lot of new members. Probably would be appropriate area for sliding in it. So we'll look at that. Last but not least, election committee, probably nothing on that, right? Okay. Thank you, Jim. Managers report, Ken.
First of all, I apologize. Last week we received a lot of tall grass around the common areas. The rain isn't our friend. But as of Friday, I think we, for the most part, got it caught up. Got to do some weed eating around and kind of get it back up to standard I want. They were just, in my opinion, some of the common ground. We're just too late. The stage venue project that we got going back here, we're planning on pouring concrete tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. We have the front of the stage seated with straw blanket, and I seen today finally some grass growing up through it. This project is totally funded by the Heritage Lake Concert Series and the sponsors that have contributed. I'd like to thank Phil Case, Case Electric, for donating and running the power from the activity center out to the back into the stage. They did that Friday, along with full excavating, donating equipment and manpower to trench the line on the ground so we could run it out. After that project is complete, we'll be focusing on getting the pool up and open for about 18 days later than that. The price of chemicals has taken a big jump in cost, totally with what we did not use last year. The increase won't get us too bad. The pool is slated to be open May 28th on Friday. As a reminder, we will be having swimming lessons on Monday and Friday morning. Anyone interested, please contact Grace Fisher. She'll be included instructing at 317-999-8585 for scheduling, or you can call the office. It is posted in there also for them to do
Finally, if anyone knows, and I'll send this out as an email also, if anyone knows of any intersections pulling out the Heritage Drive that are experiencing difficulty, on-country traffic, please either email me or call the office and let me know those locations. Major Dwight Simmons with the Sheriff's Department is approving some trustees to come out once again to clear out some of those intersections that are the area. He's also offered to spend the time utilizing his lights for traffic safety. This will take place in the next couple of weeks. So as soon as you get to the locations, we'll get moving on that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, that moves us into old business. First thing on the agenda is marina fuel dispenser. If you haven't been following our meetings the last few months, this stuff has been discussed at length, all been recorded. We've worked on marina fuel dispenser.
I'm reporting this for AJ. Real quick, I've got a report back from them, the company. If the dispenser is a 2-hose reel, 50-foot hose, it is scheduled to ship on 5/28. If it comes in by the 24th, he said he felt like that he could make that happen and get it to us and install before the holiday weekend. But if it comes anytime after the 24th, he will wait until after the holiday to get that new dispenser in the real. So that's it.
Marina parking lot, John Reed.
All right, we showed up this morning at 8 o'clock. We got there about 15 minutes before. And basically the way it sums up at 20 to 4, they were done. We opened the marina back up for business. And as we discussed many times, the traffic flow is totally different. The whole feeling behind the traffic flow is to keep everything safer for traffic, so they're going in one direction. People aren't going every which way. We have crosswalks for people that walk to the marina, and they're in yellow, and there's ample arrow directing people which way to go. We now have parking on the right side as you come in from the marina. 2 rows of parking that are parallel with designated exit area. If you drive in, you see where people would normally go to park the boat. Now it says do not enter. There's arrows that direct people around. There are dodge lanes on the right. As soon as the boats with trailers come in, and those are temporary spots that are meant for boats that are coming into the register so they can park their boats horizontally and go in, get your stickers, turn around, back in, and back out to one of the other designated spots. And we did stripe the gravel lot in yellow so it stands out a little bit better. And and that was took a little bit of massaging between me and instructors to do it. So, but I think we have a good completed project to start. So.
Thank you so much for all the work, all of you doing on that parking lot. Now, for those of you who know nothing about the parking lot, you will be able to go over there and see what we've accomplished. Down the summer, have accomplished over there with the help of the company we hired. And this is the first step. We elected not to spend an enormous amount of money on a parking lot without knowing what we're up against. So we took the best possible chance with a lot of input to make this parking lot safe for everybody. We know, just like everything else we do at Eric's Lake and every other community in the world, we're going to get criticized. And we're going to have a lot of people that are going to tell us we don't know what the hell we're doing. So if you see something that's obvious to you, please let us know. And the best way to let us know is call the office and give us your input, or come to a meeting and give us your input. So this is the first step. Hopefully we'll see with the traffic patterns, how we need to improve it between now and the time we probably repave the entire parking lot. Obviously, the gravel, we can only deal with so much. We also know there are parts of the parking lot that need damage control. So as we learn about the traffic, we're also going to get to a point down the road where we'll spend some more money and resurface it. And hopefully the second time we do this will be perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Restaurant lease, it's still old business. The attorney is working very hard on this. There are two people involved with the restaurateur company. There's an attorney and there's a CEO. Both of them are involved in leases for that company. We have our own attorney. There's involved in our lease negotiations for Heritage Lake. We are very close. I almost thought we were going to have it signed today. We are very close. There's one or two issues left. There are insurance issues, so it's not like they're just issues that we have to decide on business decision. That's where we are on the lease. And as soon as the lease is signed, you'll probably hear me. I probably won't have to send out anything. But, hopefully that's going to be very good. New business. First thing on new business is the 50th Heritage Lake anniversary, signs, flags. We've already talked that through. Thank you, Jim, and thank that whole committee for all the work you've done on that. Second thing on new business is the May operations meeting. We have switched the operations meeting to May 24th for obvious reasons. We're not going to be no more of them. Next, we have live streaming issues. Summer Rand.
So I got with Ken this week and worked through some extra
Do you want to
steps.
first explain why we're here?
We cannot do the live streaming that we've done before because YouTube put a restriction on live streaming through tablets and phones unless you have 1,000 followers, and we're not even close to that. So there are programs that you can go through, but it's complicated because these hardware, like this camera back here that we've already purchased, which is expensive, it doesn't work with a lot of these programs. So there's steps that are taken, and every time I try something new, I run into another problem. But I think we got some workthroughs, and then talked with Rick this week, and right now we're using Zoom to try to get it live, and I think it's working.
The audio quality is really bad, but it is working.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when audio was my biggest concern when we were using this camera, because I was getting a lot of feedback in my house. And I didn't know if it was just my house, that I was using it on my phone, and I was gonna try to figure it out. So if this does not work, then we'll try something different. We will get this up and running because we want to make sure that everybody has access to what's going on. But this is definitely, it's being recorded and then we can post it on YouTube later.
Yeah, and it, in fact, it's going to YouTube now. It's live streaming on Facebook right now.
Okay.
With bad audio, but it's there. But it is there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Last thing on new business is something that we won't have to talk much about. We've had discussions both in operations meetings and in board meetings and filtering through the community about food and beverage sales at Heritage Lake. Up until just recently, we were under a pandemic, and somebody made a gracious suggestion that to help with the pandemic, because everybody seems to be moving to Aries Lake to do their office work, we get a food truck out there on weekends. And that was a very nice gesture, it worked very well. But we are partnering with a restaurant to come out here, and the restaurant is paying us to be here. And we are making a percentage of the sales for that food. There's a lot of thought that goes into all that. There's nothing in concrete yet, there's nothing definitely decided yet. But the one thing that we're getting towards is the restaurateur will most likely have first right of refusal for any common area foods out of Heritage Lake for two reasons. It doesn't really want competition. And second, we get a percentage of everything we sell at Heritage Lake. And it's not as applicable with a one-day operator to come out here and give us a percentage of their sales, where it is applicable for a restaurateur that's going to be out here 7 days a week to give us a percentage of his sales on a Saturday or on a Sunday in another part of the. Those are the communications we've had. We entertained the possibility of putting this into the bylaw, some kind of conversation with our attorney. Right now, we're at the point where this will probably become a formal agreement, not in the bylaws. But we will have more discussions about that. It needs to go further. The attorney and I both agree that let's get a lease signed and we'll move towards that second step. Okay, this brings us to the open forum. Now, it's an echo chamber in here, so you don't have to talk very loud, we can hear it. We do ask that when you stand up, tell us your lot number and name, and be respectful to everyone. And we'll move through this.
I have some opportunity on my Facebook. This time I was talking about food stuff. A lot of the committees and agencies are going to discuss a lot of the a lot of the committees have dinners and lunches out there for arena. Where do they come in on all this? Where are they coming to do this?
Great question. Where that's probably going to work, and I can't give you a finite answer on that. Where that probably is going to work is that the restaurateur is completely committed to the committees and their food sales. That they are committed to those people. That will not change. We assume it will be easier for the people that are going to be doing those things because the restaurant will get involved. The first thing that they're dealing with right now, as you all know, the fire department has a steak sale agreement. That steak sale tentatively is going to be on Labor Day. And there have already been talks between the restaurateur and the fire department. And the restaurateur has guaranteed that they will not be paying as high as they paid for the steaks before, and they will be doing it for them, and they'll make at least as much money as they've ever made. He is committed to the community, and I don't know if anybody's aware, but some people in the Lakeland community are very much aware of how much this company gets involved in community activities. And so they will be definitely available to all of the committees and clubs. Well, that's between he and the committees to work out. It could be outside like it was previous years. Could be along those picnic tables by the dock side, and that'll be worked out. Yes, ma'am.
Mary, I know we have 25 residents. I'm just here inviting everybody to go to the seats and donate blood. The Red Cross is hosting another blood drive here at the lake, right where you're sitting right now, Tuesday, June 1st, from 2 to 7 p.m. So please, if you can donate, it's really important, and we can do a good turnout. So look for another good turnout. You can either register yourself at redcrossblood.org, or you can call me and you can sign up for my in the directory or in the
We'll get that out of the slide.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all you do with that blood drive. You really, the dedication is fantastic, and it really is great for the community. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Owens, 73 we don't know a lot of Ken, most of John Reed, about Nexus.
What was your last name?
Owen,
Thank you.
74 days were been approved for the AE back in October, about in the make a long story short, when I went to get my doctor bill, I wanted to extend it out first. I was told I cannot because it's 10% rule in the code. The doctor will be 10% out with tool with the code. So the in-law in the code now is the new level voters. They're going to approve the AAD and their doctor is taken out. 4 of those voters on line is allowed to stick out. I talked to John, he's supposed to bring some out of the AAD and also the line. Unless it's such a line, like I said. And I just want to know if there's something we can do to protect other homeowners. If any rules will be broken, I believe that the neighbors will be contacted, so they're using the speaker and listen to the voice group. So I don't know if that's what the neighbors are.
One of the things I noticed in effect, I believe this was put into effect either last year or this year, and that is that we do notify all the neighbors, the whole community, on what's going to be covered before the AD meets. We do that so that if someone like yourself wants to see what's going on at the AD committee, why those things have been approved, you can attend those meetings.
I'm monitoring emails, I was on the emails, I do those emails, and we're going to post it on emails. So I need another news to attend the AED if that can come out to the report. I don't know if it's the last minute permit, I don't know. We have to know October. So we need to change the certain things. That's going to be very there. What was the address of the place?
Okay, and thank you for the
Yeah, John's supposed to have that first, but I don't know. I missed it. What's that? No.
I did discuss it with them.
Yeah. And what was this, you know?
Well, between Joe and I, the permit had been released, and basically what happened is going to dig in what's actually ended up going 4.5 feet. And basically what it boiled down to is because there are various parameters that Doc Crossway, you and I discussed that too. And I think it was proved because of that. Because of the previous one, it said the end of the there's no more docks, that's as far as you go. So,
The last thing I'm going to about that comment is why the AD gets to decide who gets to break the rules and who does not. If we have rules out here, the rules need to be followed by all, my opinion. And that's it. That's all I'll say.
Okay, well, I guess at this point, I will tell you that I will personally look into it. And, I'll get in touch with you and we'll see what comes of it. And I think that I can't speak on it. I spent a lot of time with the A&E committee over the last 3 years. And I think they're doing a dynamic job, especially paying attention to items like this. But I can't speak to your specific item. I will look into it. I'll get with John and Joe, and we'll get in touch with you. And I will personally come out in that space and look at everything, have everything explained to me. See. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Scott Stevens, 75 minutes work, so I was out to your referring to when we built that dock, 2016. There was an existing out there.
Okay.
When we submitted our plans, we asked permission to build what was already there before we got there. And that's what the plans were, and we have the precedent going. And then the committee said, since you are not, we're basically rebuilding a structure that was already there. We got approval for it. So that's kind of how that built, was we put back walls there, just a new version.
You refer.
So you use the same footprint, same new dock, and there's all the old one. And you're, what, 75?
The issue becomes, now it's very, very tight down here.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
there's going to be about 10 floats. Because when our dock is open, we can get out and we actually, it's not just going towards this dock, so it's putting really for us to go. I don't know how the new dock, how they're going to get in and out there. It's split. It's going to be very, very tight. And I know he doesn't want to cause issues with neighbors, we know, but there's going to be issues because somebody's not going to be. And that's what it's well past 10%, so that's the issue.
Could you give me your name?
Scott Stevens.
Okay, I can get the last name. And, Wayne, what's your cell phone number? If you don't mind saying it.
769-1076.
And Scott, if you don't mind.
307-797-7030.
Okay.
It's amazing how quickly that house was built when everyone else was waiting. So that house was done.
Okay.
Well, this is that we're going to get into the range that happened. And you see all that we did.
Yes.
Also, the 75 days for the name Stevens.
Okay.
That's right. I would just add to that. The individuals who are not sure if it makes a huge difference. At one point, because a lot was needs to be water related, or that is water front. And so the end of the code rule would apply. And that was the main way you use the public at the time that he was requesting that language. I hope that makes sense.
Lot next to it was on another front with water feed. It got changed to the AD when they asked for a dock approval. The county still has those as a water feed, not a water front. So their assessments are wrong.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So that we could just kind of state our piece at one of those meetings. I don't see, I don't email everything through. I did visit the POA office last Thursday, ready to inquire about that. I spoke to both April and Deborah. They didn't really confirm more than I did. It went through, April did, and there had been some problems, maybe COVID related. So I would question whether or not that came through immediately.
Okay. Okay. I've got the information and they've got the information. We will look into it. I'll just preface what I'm going to say with the fact that we're all volunteers. We're all trying to do the best we can out here, and we have rules and regulations, and we like to stick by those rules and regulations. We make mistakes. Other people make mistakes. That's going to happen. We'll look into this and we'll do our best to make everybody happy on this.
What is the line number at this time? Any questions being open? 74. 74. We're all about to sign the code. That's on both sides, and that's right beside it. So it's 74. 74. Thank you. One of the things, process, like I said, we've come up to try to get a copy of that, and then I also says if you're just standing, you can see it for a minute. We wasn't allowed to see it for a minute for some reason.
When was that?
Excuse me.
When was that?
Thursday?
Thursday.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that the reason that it was not wasn't actually?
I remember some communication about it, Curtis, and the reason I'm taking all these notes is because I'm not going to start talking about something that I don't remember. On the ADJ.
You would want to ask the one, but I think there's one next door to me was not water. The one across the road was that's the waterfront property.
Well, it seems exactly what happened. The other I think that what the problem was, and so, and it was probably the state.
Well, I don't want to.
But I wish that we'll have to say.
Right. Okay. Thank you, all of you that are concerned about this issue, and we'll see what we can do. All right. I'll take a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. What's wrong?
I have it in my notes, and I want to double check that we have separate vote on the,
Yeah, it's just, that's it.
the gallery.
Does anybody have a favorite one? $12,614.98. Do we have the verbiage on the motion?
Not to exceed, I'm not sure what the.
Correct. You want to make a motion?
I would like to motion that we, approve $12,600, not to exceed $12,614.19 installed to put in a new gas dispenser with two fuel.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. You have two votes over there, correct? Thank you for bringing that to our attention. When Ken was talking about it. Some reason. Okay, great. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed can stay. I'd like to have a quick executive meeting, 5 minutes.
Yeah, you might do another thing. Because the cold numbers are on that map, you might call everybody's attention. They don't know what cold is. If you look at they know what cold is. Tell them. Sometimes you got my phone. Yeah, I can reach you. I'll be in here printing. Probably just be looking at.
Good, how about you? The weather's getting decent. It's very nice. I went out fishing for a while today. And it was, you know, it makes a big difference when there's not much wind.
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
I mean, it wasn't that warm today, but there wasn't hardly any wind, so it was easy to navigate and stuff.
Well, I'm in, I'm ready to get the motorcycle in, but.
Oh, I'm moving to the water, so you.
Yes. Yes, I am sure. Well, it doesn't say so here. Okay. Yeah, it's not. But just fix that. Yeah, but I want to see the status. Well, I stopped recording. I don't know what it's doing on YouTube.